walkie-talkie, and he was going to call her. So he called her, and I overheard the conversation. And basically, he was like, "Hello, I have this girl who sprained her really bad, and someone needs to look at it because it looks really bad." And this lady comes on, and she says this: "I am the only person, the only doctor on this base. I have a lot more important people to see than her." So, I was pretty upset about that, and so she never came to see me ever. What ended up happening over time was I was just basically, the Stewart people had me stay in the bedrooms, the birthings, all the time. The only time I could ever leave was to eat with my people or take a shower or go to the bathroom.
Can I just ask you another quick question too? Now, sickness, apparently, this is something I read off a site called Ex-Scientology Kids, I forget if it's .org or .com, but they say sickness is also treated as the fault of the sick person because Scientologists believe that the only reason somebody gets sick is if they are connected to a suppressive person. They believe that you can decide not to get sick, so when somebody becomes ill, they are treated as though they have done something wrong by, in quotes, not handling the situation. Now, I believe that that also applies to when somebody has an accident, like you just said with this barrel rolling on your foot. Can you tell me whether there's any, whether there's anything to that? Is that true?
Yes, that is very true. Basically, what they were having me to do to handle myself was to find how I was going, being a potential trouble source, or if I had a suppressive person in my life. And they were telling me that my parents were my suppressive people because they were critical of Scientology and they didn't want me to join. And
is that true? Did they not want you to join?
My parents are not suppressive people. They are the most amazing people in my life, and I don't know of anyone who doesn't like them other than Scientology.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, they were trying to get me to write up my crimes, which are called overts and withholds, and I refused because I didn't believe it was my fault that I got hurt. It was an accident. And they were trying to put me through all these ethics cycles and trying to get me to just do a lot of things that weren't necessary. And I was like, you know what, this is not okay. I don't like this at all. And yeah, that was a cycle.
Yeah, and these cycles that they make you do after you've had an accident or you need to be, I use the word maybe cleansed. Is that an appropriate word to use in this situation? Sort of cleansed of a suppressive person or what they call potential trouble source?
You could say cleansed. They would say to be handled.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
And does that cost money?
For somebody who is not on staff or in the Sea Org, yes, it would cost money to go through that. But since I was part of the Sea Org, I got it for free.
And these barracks that you live in, or these where they put you up, residents, yeah. Now, how many other people were sharing the same room as you?
Oh my goodness.
What's that?
So, let's see. At the time, there were only about 9 of us, I want to say. But there were enough beds in this room. There were, let's see, there were 29 beds in this room. They were bunk beds, but they had 3 levels on them.
Uh-huh.
So there were 29 beds, but at the time, there were only 9 girls in my birthing.
Okay. And also, I've also heard that Sea Org members may not watch television or own a personal computer. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Or cell phones. They took all of our cell phones away, and they were locked in the ethics officer's office in a drawer. And the only time that we could use them is when she had free time. But we could only use them in her office when she or another high-level Sea Org member was present. That goes the same with computers or internet.
And there's another important question I want to ask too, is when you join the Sea Org, do they go through your mail? And if they do go through your mail, did you sign something, a document or anything like that, that would say that it's okay for Scientologists to go through my mail before I get it? Because if you haven't signed something like that, that's a federal crime for them to tamper with your mail.
No, I actually haven't even heard of that ever.
Okay, so you think that that's probably not true, or you don't know at this point?
Oh, I know they go through your mail.
Oh, I see.
Know that they did it to me, but I never signed or have seen any sort of document that says that you give them permission to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but they did go through my mail, yes.
Okay. Wow, that's quite something too. There's they also claim to uphold the Declaration for Human Rights. I went through and read the Declaration for Human Rights, and I found several points that they seem to be breaking themselves in the Sea Org. In fact, I wish I had these notes right here. I'm just going to open up a web page and get the Declaration for Human Rights up here. Article 20 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Section 2, says that no one may be compelled to belong to an association. Do you feel like they strongly pressured you to conform and stay in Scientology?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it seems very hypocritical to me that they would strongly put forward the idea that they support the Charter of Human Rights when, I mean, this is, in my view, as far as I can determine, a clear violation of that, as well as several articles that are extremely suspect, that seems to be gray areas that they may very well be violating upon their own members.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do that. But unfortunately, when you're in Scientology, you are so, I guess, indoctrinated into their ways, and you believe that you just need to trust whatever L. Ron Hubbard has written or what people are following in his footsteps. You just believe that. And you are, for me personally, I was very, I had no association with the outside world. I didn't even think about my own rights. I was thinking, just about what everyone else was doing in Scientology, because they all seem to be having a great time.
Do you think that sometimes that was a bit of a show, or do you, when people would seem depressed, do you get the impression that they hid that, or was that frowned upon if you showed that you were unhappy? Were you they use this term a lot, in quotations, punished?
Punished. I don't know about that. I when I worked there, I saw a few people, that could be upset or depressed, but whenever someone else came near them or they noticed somebody higher was around them, they would immediately perk up and go back to work. But I don't know if you get in trouble for being upset. I personally didn't.
Oh, okay. So you probably wouldn't exactly get in trouble for it.
No. I mean, it's okay to be upset. I think, and I think they thought that too.
Okay.
I never saw a problem with it.
Also, can you comment on some stuff like deaths? Apparently, people who have left Scientology can claim to know quite a few people who have actually killed themselves. Now, when you were in Scientology, did you know anybody personally who committed suicide?
I don't know anyone personally, but I almost did.
You almost did. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes, I can. So basically, when I hurt my foot, and I was in the bedrooms all day for 2 weeks, pretty much. And I was going insane because I couldn't talk to anyone, not really anyway. I couldn't leave, and if I wanted to go outside, I couldn't go by myself. I'd have to be escorted everywhere I went.
What would they do to you if you chose to go outside by yourself? What would they, in a sense, do to you?